Audible?
Yes, sir.
Let me know if the screen is visible.
Good evening, sir. Namaste. Hi, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, well, sir. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. All good, sir.
With your permission, 1 minute.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. How are you, all the kids? So, first exam over. Don't worry about how was the exam. I'm not here to ask how was the exam. So, just relax and chill. What is important is put that conscious effort to come out of that exam, whether it's right, good, bad, easy, tough. Don't bother about it. So, just come out of the examination. If exam was easy, well and good. Not good, not everybody, same feeling. Okay. Point number one. So, when you requested Mehul sir, then I realized I will come and tell. So you have got 2.5 days time for law paper. I hope you are aware of it. Now, day after tomorrow exam will go bedi no. Okay. Your exam is on 4th on Saturday. Sorry, when is the next exam? 4th alla. With 4th.
7th.
Correct time note kodi. Correct time note kodi. Nangottilla. So since there are 2.5 days, my request and suggestion is today after Mehul sir session. So whatever, if you want, today only once you revise everything. Then tomorrow half day you spend on income tax. Okay, so half day. Then you still spend 2 days for law because I still want, because recent examinations results are across India, law is not great. That's why 2 days you spend on law, so that income tax and GST also will be better prepared. That's a suggestion, and do well. All the best, and sorry, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. And best wishes of Teachers' Day tomorrow. CA Foundation, September 25 examination students. Let us celebrate next year. Thank you. Bye. Bye,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Bye,
Sorry,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well.
Good
How was the
morning,
paper?
sir.
How was the paper? Reasonably good. Apart from that, that's it. Reasonably good. Perfect. How many of you have carried the burden home? 99% of you would have done this mistake. If you're carrying the burden home, 100% one step closer to danger. Tear the question paper then and there. Jai Mata Di, let's rock. I don't know. All right. It's not even in my control. After giving the answers to you, and I can't even change anybody's fate. Even I can't change your fate. Forget about you doing anything for yourself. Simple. Tear the question paper. Those of you who have all the spiritual and religious belief, I come from a religious background, don't worry about it. They're just to ensure that, I don't want to unnecessarily ruin 2.5 days, not just my, even my family's. Sitting, correcting, checking if I got 40 magical number, all that nonsense. I hope none of you would have done. I'm sure Shetty sir would have given you enough yarn on this. Let's get started with law. All right. 99% of you already have jitters. And all of that. All right. Sit straight. 1 hour, we strategize on how do we have to go about for the next 2.5 days. What can we do the best? All right. To avoid stress. Half day, like Shetty sir has already mentioned, preferable to spend on the other subject because you don't really need 2.5 days for law. All right. It's a separate story. That 2.5 months are also less at times to study law, but you don't have to give so much time because unnecessarily over investment of time also can create nervousness. I don't want that situation. Let's get started with this session. I hope the screen is visible to everyone. All right. The objective of this is to give you some amount of confidence that you will be able to sail through. All right. Trust me, during the sessions, if you've been honest, irrespective of during the sessions, during that study leave, if you've been honest, you will clear the paper. Just that during those 3 hours, let's be mindful. Let's not do blunders there. All right. I divide the entire session of 40-45 minutes in 2 parts. First part, we are going to talk about general stuff, all right, which I want you to be mindful. I would have spoken about it in length several times. I will repeat it. Second part is going to be on the technical topics, which I want you to strategize how to prepare for the next 2.5 days. Clear? All right. Let's get started. 200% energy. Let's begin. Give our heart and soul in the next 1 hour or 45 minutes that we spend writing any points. All right. I was just going through some very well-known person, all right, with due respect, one well-known person on YouTube had put up a video that don't put asterisks, don't put question mark, don't put bulletin signs and all when you're writing, all right. What do I mean? When you're writing your answer scripts, all right. I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you're writing your answers, all right, this time let's change a small twist, all right, a small twist. Instead of putting a star mark and writing your points, this time let us write A, B, C, D. All right. If you're writing any answer, it should be in points. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you're writing anything in points, let's ensure that we are going to write it in an appropriate manner and thereafter go ahead with the presentation. Very, very important thing. We are going to ensure that best foot forward. I don't have to spend too much time here. The first answer that you write, Sharon, has to be the best answer that you can write. No confusion at all. It has to be the best answer. Now, what happens is the moment, first of all, blunder theory paper, I've seen a couple of people going at exactly 1 minute before the answer script is given to you or the question paper is given to you. Let's suppose if the question paper is given at 2 o'clock. I've seen people reaching there at 1:58, 1:59 and all that nonsense. Don't do this blunder. Reach at least 20 to 30 minutes early. Get yourself used to that environment. Am I making sense? Everyone there with me? All right. It's called acclimatization. All right. There's a psychology behind it. What is the whole concept of acclimatization? You get adjusted to the climate. That's what I want you to do there. All right. You will find 100 people asking 100 questions there, which you might not even have come across. Don't answer. You know the answer. Don't answer. You don't know the answer. You anyway can't answer. Simple. All right. You are just going there because I want to familiarize with myself with that atmosphere. That's the whole thought process. Clear, everyone? All right. What do I do when I get the MCQ as well as theory in the theory paper and the descriptive? What should I start off with? Shetty sir would have strategized. I repeat this. You are not going to start with MCQs. You are not going to prepare your answer scripts with the MCQs. We are going to spend an hour or maybe 1.5 hours only on your descriptive questions. I will not even have a second thought if I were to write 2 hours only descriptive, last 1 hour only for MCQs. Is that okay? Chalega. Reason for MCQs, it's not going to be simple. MCQs will be a bouncer trip. And first 1 hour, I don't want to take stress. That's why I will start with your descriptive questions. Clear, everyone with me? Okay. Third point, sleep well. Today, tomorrow, you do whatever you want. 1 night before the examination, if anybody does the blunder of sleeping for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, and all that nonsense, 1 step closer to writing again the January attempt. I am telling you, for a theory paper, you need peace of mind because you have to bring back that entire memory that you've read. All right, that has to come in during those 3 hours. How will it come in case if you've not taken enough rest? You would have burnt out already. You don't want to take a chance there. Clear with me, everyone? 6 hours. Sir, I've covered only 60% syllabus. I don't care. It's okay. Sleep for 6 hours. You will be able to reproduce that 60% in a better manner than just going ahead and covering 100% at the cost of just remembering 40%. Don't do this. Don't do this mistake. Clear, Deepa? Can I continue? Next, Annapurna. Write a page with the pen you intend to use. I really don't want to spend too much time here. Carry water and if possible, lemonade. Dispose the question paper immediately after the exam. At least do it for law paper. Whether you do it for other papers or not, I want you to do it for law paper. All right. Next, attitude matters. I remember one student, all right, one among our crowd itself. Who it is, why it is, don't worry. 3 days prior to the examination, unfortunately, something happened in his family. All right. Who, what, when, where, why? Let's not get in there. If you and I were in that position, we wouldn't have been able to open the books. Forget about writing exams. That person, with God's grace and little confidence, went, wrote, cleared the law paper with exemption. Attitude matters. All right, attitude matters. I don't know. Let's suppose 60 marks I don't know in the examination. I'm talking about worst case scenario. I know 40, right? 40 I have to get on. 60 I will push and get 30 out of the 60. 70 is a good mark even for a rank holder. I hope I'm making sense. Everyone with me? All right. 100 marks cannot be difficult. Mind you guys, entire 100 marks cannot be made difficult because they need students and fees for CA final. Simple as that. All right. Making sense? With me? Next. Read the question carefully. By now, you would have already realized I really don't want to spend too much time. Don't panic. I have already mentioned if it is 100 marks paper, I just know 40 marks. I'm telling you, I just know only 40 marks. 60 marks, if I'm not panicked, I will be able to answer. If I'm freaking out, if I am not able to sit there, if I have jitters, nervous, whatever 40 you know, even that will get stuck. Calm yourself down there. It's easy. You will do. Keep telling yourself, I will manage through it. I will sail through it. Simple as that. Understood? All right. Next, Gautami. Don't assume that you know the question even before reading the answer. All right. I'm sorry. Don't assume that you know the question even before reading the entire question properly. Read it and then come to the full conclusion. No wrong questions. No unnecessary drama there. If you know, you write. If you don't know, it's okay. Write the name of act. If you don't know the name of act, as per the provision of law. Simple. All right. Next. Don't watch others in the examination hall. I've seen students do this mistake. Don't do all this. Time for the marks. Very, very critical. You're having 100 marks to write. And you have 180 minutes. 1 mark, 1.8 minutes. Can I go with this notion? Answer is no. You cannot go with this notion, or else you will end up spending extra time in your MCQs, which is not even required. MCQs, 30 marks, 30 minutes, full stop. 30 marks, 45 minutes, full stop. You're not going to spend entire 1 hour only on MCQs. You will come out complaining that you have not finished the paper. I don't want that situation. Clear, everyone? Yes. Next. Relationship or length and marks, I've already spoken. Try different presentations. Sir, can I use tables? Chalega, not an issue. All right. Can I write in bulletin points? Chalega, no problem. Underlining the question and underlining the main bulletin point there, important keyword is very, very critical. All right. During our R2C sessions as well, your seniors might have dropped by and they have mentioned about it. I have shown answer script how beautiful it looks for the evaluator to just read the keywords and give you marks. Make your life easier, make the evaluator's life easier. Clear, everyone? All right. Next. 148 sections, 10 chapters. I will spend some time on the technicals as well. All right. Start with the pattern manner of writing. Very important. So how do I write? Please note, we are going to write every question number in the middle of the page. All right. I've spent enough time even on this. If this is your question paper, question number 1A, I'm going to write whatever it is. Next page, question number 1B. Now, what happened was, I remember one student did, this is called following religiously without using your brains. Student actually did this. All right, question number 1A, question number 1C, everything written categorically in each question, all right, being written in a fresh page. Brilliant. What mistake he has done? He has just written 2 lines, left the entire page. Written 2 lines, left the entire page. Written 2 lines and left the entire page. He just knew only this much. Now, if your thought is, why did he write only 2 lines? Because he didn't know the answer. Now, please don't do this stupidity where you will irritate the evaluator. Huh? I have never asked you to leave entire page if you have just written 2 or 3 lines. Please continue then and there. If the situation is where I've written at least 3/4 of the page, don't make it messy just to save 2-3 lines and 1 or 2 pages in the examination hall. That is not the objective. Am I clear, everyone? All right. Next. Other laws, I will spend some time. Few case laws, handling language, very important. Huh? Income Tax Act tells that. Companies Act tells that. FEMA tells that. It's not your relative who is getting personified unnecessarily. States provides only 2 words that we know. States provides. If it is a definition, defines. Clear, everyone? These are the 3 words which I want you to get used to. Distinguish between the question if it is a direct question or a case study. If it is a direct question, you don't have to break your head. It's straight to the point. Again, please ensure you don't straight away jump into the whole point, main body. Give an introduction, give a line, give a conclusion, come to the main point. Just like how you would have done for a case study. Can I do the same thing even here? Answer is yes. All right. Give one introductory line, come to the main point, and finally you conclude. This is a safer way of writing answers. Coming to very important thing, case study. Rishika, her answer script we had discussed. All right. Why can I? How am I taking the name? Is because I have the liberty of doing so. I had the question paper and the person during the session itself, so don't worry. Now, what happened was in her answer script, everything followed religiously, but for a case study, assume we don't have to write the subtitles. Why you don't have to write the subtitle? Facts of the case, provision of law, analysis, conclusion is my Bible for answering every case-oriented case study-oriented question. Sir, should I write that in the question paper in answer script? Yes. Now, what happens was I was reading one of the answers. All right, our friends have written facts of the case itself half page. You will not get marks for that. You're just structuring your answer, but doesn't mean that you're going to write BCom answers there and come back home thinking that you'll get marks for volume. No. Am I loud and clear, everyone? Show up in A. All right, sit straight, everyone. Now, my point is, facts of the case cannot be more than 2 or 3 sentences. 2 sentences maximum. Limit yourself to 3 sentences. Where should I spend extra time? My extra time should be on provision and analysis. Conclusion, one single sentence. I'm not going to write entire Ramayana again in conclusion. Then what is the point of analysis? With me, everyone. All right. So stick to the format. Very, very important. And write down your points there. Facts of the case, provision of law, analysis, conclusion. Highlighting, underlining, mandatory for every answer. For every answer, highlighting and underlining is important. Clear, everyone with me? All right. Next. Fresh page per question. No point in now thinking this faculty asked us to do this, do that, and all of that. Again, last 2 points. Why is this important? Is because unfortunately or fortunately, my sibling is always in this guilt trip that my faculty had asked me to read this, my teacher had asked me to do this, and all of that. We grew up together. I remember her preparing for her CA examination. Always 2 days before the examination, 1 day before the examination, she's thinking about what she should have done. No point. You've lost the time. Now, what is the best that I can do in 1 day is what I have to believe in. Clear, everyone? All right. Don't unnecessarily carry any sort of superstition. All right. Whatever you think could be superstitious, don't carry that. Next. Coming to the technicals. Your entire question paper comprises of 2 marks or 2 parts. One being 30 marks of MCQ and 70 marks of descriptor. Should I take calculator? Answer is yes. Maintaining your speed. Anybody coming out of the examination hall this time and telling, sir, I was not able to write 100 marks, slap yourself. You're not doing a favor for me. You're doing it for yourself. All right. Please note, writing for 100 marks, people have not been able to get 30. If you write itself for 70, 80, how under the sky will you be able to get 100? I don't know. All right. How even if you are aiming to get more than 60, please don't even try. You will not. Law paper, I have seen a very ruthless way of corrections. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. Now, so you've scared us enough. How do we go about with the preparation? Let's get started. Topic wise, we are going to discuss. All right. In this RTC material, there's one RTP as well, just to give you a quick glimpse, nothing much, all right, just to give you a flavor of what kind of topics can come there. Let's get started with the technical analysis. I will straight away jump into technical discussions first, all right. There's 70 marks of law, all right. I know each one of you sitting here knows this. 70 marks of Companies Act, all right, which Companies Act includes your LLP as well when I'm talking about 70%. All right. Second limb, Sharon, is talking about other laws. Focus, everyone. All right. Those of you who are studying now, don't do the blunder. 30 minutes is only dedicated for next 2 days. How should you study? Focus. Other laws, 30 marks. I was just evaluating a couple of question papers. All right. As much as we are talking here, we do a little bit of homework. Usually, Companies Act is asked for 55 to 60 marks. All right. Usually, 55 is their lucky number. They stick to 55. Your other 4 chapters are going to be of 45 marks. General Clauses Act, Interpretation of Statute, FEMA, LLP. 4 chapters. Now I tell you, sir, 4 chapters, easy to score 45. We have cleared the paper, control your nerves. General Clauses Act and Interpretation of Statute, majority of us know that, sir, we read, we understand, but we find it difficult to reproduce. What should be done? We'll just look at it. All right. For these 2 chapters, I want you to read not just your own RTP, but also the previous 2 or 3 RTPs and also the mock paper. And if time permits, also read 1 or 2 question papers. Just the questions you read and you read. You can go ahead with your preparation. Now, sir, if we read only this much, is it enough? Answer is 100% no. The whole point is you will find a trend that the questions are slightly repetitive in General Clauses Act interpretation of statute. Volume is less. They can't ask you too many case-oriented questions from these 2 chapters. Unlike FEMA, unlike LLP, unlike Companies Act, there they can ask a lot of case study-oriented questions. But in these 2 chapters, mostly they ask direct questions. Our preparation plan would be these 2 chapters, come what may, I am going to spend extra half an hour, extra 1 hour. It's an investment because I know straight away 20 marks or least possibility 15 marks I get only by reading these 2 chapters. With me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Understanding? Yes? Scared? Silence is acceptance. All right. Coming back to the point now. You don't have to be scared. Just plan 2.5 days you have. Coming back to the next point now. Sir, what should we do for LLP and FEMA? All right. LLP and FEMA, please note, again, FEMA looks horrendous, looks scary, but no, questions are usually revolving around only 4 or 5 subtopics. They don't ask too many other questions. Your questions in the past, I've evaluated 4 or 5 subtopics. That's it. They don't break their head into getting too many technicals. So, this syllabus, this topic is coming from CA final. It was not done at inter. They cannot ask you questions of CA final level at inter. I'm telling you, with me, everyone. All right. Now, LIT. This chapter, each one of you have to read the study material. Come what may, easy 5 to 7 marks. Easy 5 to 7 marks. So if you analyze, 4 chapters are giving you 45 marks. We are unnecessarily creating hype that the paper is scary. No, because we don't know how to strategize and read. That is our problem. So, sir, how should we go about now? If you see there are 4 chapters, I want you to ensure that you finish at least 2 chapters before you sleep. All right? Take up simple topics. Take up simple topic like say LLP and interpretation of statute. Nothing high funda. Simple 2 topics. Or take up General Clauses Act and interpretation of statute. Ensure that you know word by word of these topics. Sir, it's already 9:15. Do I have sufficient time? Guys, I really don't know all that. You will have to find out what is the best for you. All right. According to me, let's play safe. Ensure that at least we have to secure 10 marks before sleeping. These 2 chapters, we are going to spend some time. Nahi, sir, nahi hoga. Study in the morning. Simple as that. All right. Coming back to the other technical aspects of Companies Act. Listen to me very carefully. Now I'm going chapter wise. Listen to me very carefully. All that I'm discussing is extra focus points. So something similar we had also seen in the previous attempt. Extra focus point is important in each attempt. All right. So it goes unsaid that they can go ahead and ask repetitive questions this time. 2 chapters I have seen in last attempt's question paper, which was surprising. They've asked a good number of questions from share capital and debentures, which was surprising. All right. Usually they don't stick their head out and ask too many questions. They ask basic 1 or 2 questions from you. Share capital and debentures is an important topic. All right. When you're preparing, you might have to ensure that you know word by word of this chapter. Let's go ahead. Let's spend some time now chapter wise or Companies Act. First chapter, preliminary. Now, preliminary. In your study material, in your catch material, if you see all the sections, all the definitions are given there. All right. Now, it so happens that These definitions you will come across in multiple other chapters. There are few definitions which you might have never come across at all. All right, there might be few such definitions. Skim through after you're done with entire Companies Act. Don't waste time on day one only on chapter one. Reason being very simple, you will end up consuming more time in memorizing those definitions which might anyway be required in the subsequent chapters. With me, everyone? So read everything except for definition. Come back and read it later. Chapter 2, extra important focus points. OPC. Members fall below the minimum number. Alteration of MOA, AOA. Registered office, conversion of company, illegal association, commencement of business. Labeling and naming subsidiary holding shares in parent. Very, very important topics these are. All right. Sir, are these sufficient if I read for the next 2.5 days? I'm talking about important topics. Read everything, pay extra focus on this. With me, Pranam. All right, Vishruta. Next, chapter 3, prospectus and allotment of securities. Ensure you go through these topics on what is covered in the prospectus, what are the types of prospectus. I've seen one question where in length they've asked about what is a red herring prospectus. I was shocked, straight, direct question, 4 mark, write a short note on what is a red herring prospectus. With me? All right, next. Types of prospectus, variation in terms of contract, commission, allotment, private placement. Please spend enough time on private placement. All right. There is a high possibility of question on private placement. Note, private placement is not only for shares, it includes even debentures. All right. So when you're preparing, read enough that you get into the technicals. Share capital and debentures, I told you last attempt, it was surprising for me to see so many questions from share capital and debentures. The trend will continue. The trend will continue. Reason being, outside in Indian economics, as such, there is a lot of discussion going on restructuring activities. So share capital and debentures is a critical topic. With me, so now what all should we read in this? Voting rights. How does the voting rights vary? All right. Issue of shares at discount, quota preference shares, transmission of securities, transfer of securities. Get into details. Debentures. If you are issuing the secured debentures, trustee being appointed, all of those things. I repeat, you might not be able to recall everything right now. Don't panic. It is just to give you a quick trailer of what movie you're going to play for yourself in the next 2 days. Clear, everyone? Next. Acceptance of deposits is a small chapter, but questions are lifted. All right. Very repetitive topic, very, very much simple because only 3 or 4 sections are there. You cannot afford losing. Sir, is there a possibility that I may not have a question from deposits? Answer is no. Deposits, 100% there will be a question. With me, everyone? All right. So what all should I cover, sir? Definition. Eligible company for deposits. How much is the limit that they can go ahead? What is not deposit? Exceptions are important. Extra focus on exceptions, like I've already mentioned. Deposits by private company, whether it is allowed or not, and how much and to who. Registration of charges, again, a very, very small chapter where you're going to go through what are the types of charges, what will be the meaning of word crystallization, what will happen if I don't register, concept of constructive notice under section 80, very, very important. How do I go ahead with the satisfaction modification of charges? If there is a satisfaction, should I inform the registrar or not? All these are important topics. All right, next. Management and administration, one of the biggest topics of your syllabus. But at the same time, I am confident that everybody sitting here is very, very much well versed with this topic. I am confident once you start preparing, you will realize that. What all topics do we cover here? Registers, foreign registers. What is the meaning of the word beneficial holding? There are a few case studies in your study material should be there at the tip of your tongue. What is notice? How an explanatory statement is given? What is quorum? What is proxy? Types of voting? Especially postal ballot. What are the types of resolutions you pass? What are the timelines for AGM, EGM? When should I file an annual return? What is the postal ballot applicability of OPC provisions? Only for from the management and administrative perspective. Important topic. Important topic. Understand it? Next, dividend. There has been no question paper without a question from dividend. In simple terms, every question paper will have a question from dividend. Blunder where most of our students do. It's only 4 sections, but we miss out on these 4 sections itself. What all are the topics? Sources of dividend. From where will you give dividend if you don't have money? All right. Conditions for paying dividend out of accumulated profits. Difference between interim and final dividend. There is a chart in your caps material which captures right from declaring till IPF. What all will happen? Important chart. Last one, focus on unpaid dividend account. What is that money? How can I take out money from there? When does it go? All of those important topics. Accounts of companies. You have already read half of this chapter in your today's paper itself. Theory. All right. While you were reading for your accounts paper, you would have covered important topics. Nevertheless, spend some time here. Change in place of books. Consolidated financial statements. To whom is it applicable? Reopening of books and revision of financial statement. Please write down. This is one of the key topics from here because they wouldn't have asked this in accounts. They cannot ask this question in accounts. Revision and reopening. All right. When can I reopen the books? For how long can I reopen the books? And what is the concept of revision of financial statements? Signing of financial statements, CSR, internal audit, board's report. You have to remember for internal audit, what is the mnemonic? My BPO senior DP with books, correct? Slap yourself. That is securities premium. All right. When it comes to simply, it's not for the sake of it. All right. Sleeping?
No, sir.
No,
Doesn't
sir.
seem like. All right. You shouldn't be replying to it. Coming back to the point. ILCD 200, 150, 25. Spend time, which limit is applicable when, at any point of the time, during the end of the year, you have to read that technical aspect one and be prepared for questions from internal audit. There can be a possibility of question. Last attempt also, there was a question only on internal audit applicability and can an employee of the company itself go ahead and do an internal audit or not? Very interesting question that was. All right, next. Audit and auditors, please prepare extra focus this time. I'm expecting good number of questions in law this time from audit and auditors. Appointment, very, very important. Different types of appointment removals. Qualification, disqualification of auditors. Who cannot become an auditor is important. All right, pay extra focus. This can be a question in qualifications and disqualification. What services an auditor cannot render and cost audit applicability. Don't break too much time on into cost audit. Just see applicability for whom records have to be maintained, for whom audit has to be done. Please note, I repeat, cost records and cost audit does not go hand in hand. For a few entities, only cost records have to be maintained. For a few entities, cost records have to be maintained as well as cost audit has to be done. Don't get scared. You have enough days. All right. You'll be able to recapitulate all of this, just emphasizing on important topics next. Companies incorporated outside India. Please read this chapter. Very, very, very critical topic. Very critical topic. Very important topic. You cannot afford missing out on this chapter. All right. Last topic, all the amendments. All right, and CSR, there have been a couple of topics. LLP, what all should I focus? Partners and their relation, assignment and transfer of rights, changes in names. Last attempt also, there was a question only on changes in name, reservation of name, features of LLP and differences. Simple, small topic. 3 chapters which will give you 30 marks. 3 chapters which will give you 30 marks. Let's get started with that now. General Clauses Act on screen. Objective, definition, what are the rules of construction, computation of time. Last attempt, there was one question only on computation of maturity date. I was shocked to see that. All right. Maturity date, how are you going to compute? That was one of the topics. Next, distances, provisions as per on the rules and orders. All right. How to serve a notice, how to serve a post. Every time I've spoken about this, I've told you that this is an important topic. It comes in 2 places. One is under the Companies Act, how to serve a notice. Second one under this, how to serve a post. Last attempt, service by post was a question. I'm not sure how many of you remember. All right, service by post was a question. Interpretation of statutes. Types of interpretation goes unsaid, important. This attempt, I'm expecting them to ask a question on internal aids. Deepa, all right. Now, what are internal aids? Title, preamble, subsection, clauses, explanation, proviso. Difference between proviso, difference between and explanation. Can a proviso act as an explanation? Can an explanation act as a proviso? Couple of topics which we have discussed in length. This time, I'm expecting somewhere a question could come in regarding this because Income Tax Act was changed because of few words like notwithstanding, subject to, all of these, the new Income Tax Act. The whole motive is to remove a few things. They've removed the word notwithstanding straight away. This attempt, I will not be surprised if they ask this question on notwithstanding, write a short note or differentiate between notwithstanding, subject to. With me, everyone. And also one important phrase that we use, without prejudice. 3 important words which I want you to be very clear when you're preparing for examination. Fema, if you see the entire chapter where I want you to focus is going to be only 4 important subtopics. Residential status, LRS as a scheme, capital account, current account. 4 important topics. I repeat, residential status, who is a resident, who is a non-resident, some things which you might get confused, what Shetty sir might have taught more than 182 days, what I might have taught more than 183 days, somewhere you might have come across something, all right? Important topic, residential status. They might ask a question of a branch, pay attention, all right? Second thing is on current account and capital account, what it is, what is covered, and what are the exceptions. There is one listing called as those transactions where prior approval of central government is required, those transactions where prior approval of RBI is required. Listen to me very carefully, everyone. I want you to go through that list. There can be MCQs picked up from there. Fourth important topic will be on LRS. What is liberalized remittance scheme? Last attempt also, there was one question revolving around LRS. Pay attention when you're preparing. All right. With this additional points which I want you to take care. There are a few case studies. Please pay attention on these case studies in your study material. You could take a screenshot. Has this material been circulated already? Yes, no, some response.
No, sir, not sir.
No. All right. Please quickly take a screenshot of this. All right. Wherein I want you to see case studies on these topics. What all topics? OPC, small company, interim dividend plus independent directors plus CSR. All right. These are all important case studies. Very, very important. I want you to spend some time on dividend internal auditors case studies on section 8, 127. How a 127 topic comes into picture. Registered office, deposits, charges, and AGM notices. AGM deposits. Now, you might be thinking, what is this guy given on screen? These are case studies which were asked in previous attempts. These are the topics from where case studies were picked up. With me, everyone? All right. So these are the areas where you can expect case studies on AGM, deposit, charges, who's the chairman, what can he sign, when can he come into picture, shifting of registered office, debenture issue and redemption, loan granted for acquisition of shares, maximum number of people in a private company, private placement penalties, buybacks, holding subsidiary relationship, variation in shareholders' right, OPC nominee, and buyback. All right. So if you see, these are the topics. Majority of the questions which you see here are from share capital and debentures. Your case studies would ideally be dropping in from share capital and debentures. So please be prepared. All right. By the way, what is case study? If you see in your study, in your MCQs, they will give you a case and then they will ask a plethora of questions on that. That is what we are talking about right now. All right, your MCQ prone areas is what we are spending time right. Can I continue, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Place of AGM, register of charges, receiver appointment, how a private placement works, allotment timelines, private placement, allotment timelines, calls in advance, holding of shares by subsidiary, CRR account creation, transfer of money to your unpaid dividend, and sources of funds for dividend declaration. If you see, I have just highlighted important questions from various places. All right. I think this is more to do with how the scoring has been done and how our friends have written answers. Let me know if you can see the screen. Beautifully brought in. All right. If you see how they've highlighted questions, you don't get marks for writing history, you get marks for writing pointers. Make the evaluator's life easy by highlighting what you really want him to read. If you look at it, he has given the answers in a very, very good manner. All right. Although I was not really happy with this presentation, where you write question 4B. One, you are going to write question 4B2 once again, even here. Sir, it's okay. I don't want the evaluator to be confused. That's the whole objective. With me, everyone? All right. Next, look at it, guys. Beautifully presented. Only problem was wherever there were case studies, he forgot or she forgot to write the points in pointers. All right. Facts of the case, provision of law, analysis, conclusion. Look at the kind of questions that they've asked. Difference between LLP and company. All right. And look at the format. Is it allowed? It is allowed. All right. Tables are allowed. Answer is yes. Look at the questions on General Clauses Act. All right. Look at the way it has been presented. You get half marks also. If you see stepwise answering has been done, stepwise marking has been done. If you see, look at it. Am I making sense? Everyone with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I don't want this kind of blunder. All right. Nobody is going to draw lines and do all this nonsense. Right. See, here it is still okay because the person has used only 3 lines. So it is okay continuing in the same page. But if it is very little space left, don't do the blunder of writing it then and there. All right. So if you see, this is the answer script. Look at also this. If you're just writing for the sake of it, how your marks is going to be deducted. It carries an impression. It carries an impression, and they're not going to give you marks for it. I hope the screen was visible and the screen is visible even now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look at the total score. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Look at the total score. Although presentation was fine. Please don't get carried away. If this is out of 70, the person got 25 only in MCQs. All right, 25 in MCQs. Also, this paper, the person has got 2.5 marks grace. All right, I was just going through. The person has got 2.5 marks grace in the totaling. Does that happen? It does happen. It does happen. With me, everyone? All right, now, anything else on the RTP? Also, let me cover that. I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I will quickly take you through the RTP as well. Your attempt RTP, which I think could be important. Yes. Visible? So if you see, this time their focus is on equity share with differential right, Pranav, transfer of shares, buyback, due date for annual returns, foreign register of members, FEMA, and General Clauses Act. What have we done? There is nothing but this attempt. What all questions have they asked in the RTP? All right. Your MCQs from where they have picked up, that is what we have highlighted. I want you to spend some time on those case studies which I have already spoken of. I will put that slide once again. If you've not noted it, if you've not taken a screenshot, quickly do so. And after that, I will be winding up with a quick small clip. Visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I hope you guys have taken note, taken screenshots or whatever it is. Yes.
Yes, sir. I have
Yes,
taken.
All right. One of you have taken, then you can circulate.
Yes, sir.
Please spend enough time on this. Now, the first question running in everybody's mind is, sir, what should I study? How should I study for the next 2.5 days? If you can strategize, chapter-wise also, it's like feeding the spoon itself to the person. All right. Trust me, as a student, even I would want somebody to tell me what should I study, when should I study. My thought process, I would want to sleep little peacefully with 2 chapters at least being covered. Giving myself 10 marks at least. My thought, LLP and take another small chapter. Let's suppose interpretation of statute nahi ho raha hai. General Clauses Act aap pehla. Take one small chapter at least. Say charges, deposits, dividend. You decide. Finish that along with LLP. You will be assuring yourself 10 marks at least for the day. Tomorrow, first half, I will leave it to your discretion whether you want to read law in the first half or in the second half. My thought would be I would want to finish income tax in the first half, because from second half, let's suppose my second half starts after 2. From 2 onwards, the next 2.5 days, I'm going to spend only on law. I'm not going to take up anything new. With me, everyone? All right. What do I study tomorrow, sir? After income tax and your GST, whatever you would have spent in the first half, my recommendation would be take a bouncer tomorrow. Why? Because you've already got a switch from topics. Why don't you take up, let's suppose, take up management and administration and take up in the first sequence. All right. Spend at least tomorrow, you should have finished 3 or 4 big chapters of Companies Act. If not big chapters, at least 2 big chapters of Companies Act. Write down. Quick. Seems like most of you sleeping. Insist you to keep your cameras on. Can we begin? Tonight, I'm going to finish LLP and 1 chapter of Companies Act. Which chapter? I leave it to your discretion. Tomorrow, second half, I'm going to spend good amount of time on preliminary, incorporation, prospectus, management and administration. Possible 100%, there's no option. All right, there's no option. So with that, you will be done with 5th. Okay. Now, when's your exam? 7th afternoon, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
effectively, then you'll be left with only 1 day. I'm not sure how many of you can make sense out of it. So you have to cover major syllabus tomorrow. All right. Next, you're going to cover on the next day. Try covering dividend, deposits, share capital, audit accounts, audit and accounts, both. You don't have an option, huh? And let's suppose today, if you've taken up General Clauses Act, or if you've taken up, say, whichever topic, today, if you've taken up interpretation of statute, then that day of 6th, you're going to spend time on the other 2 chapters. All right. Let's suppose I've taken up interpretation of statute, then I'm going to spend time on FEMA as well as General Clauses Act. FEMA, you can keep it for 5th, all right, or 7th on the date of exam when you're going. FEMA, 1 topic you can park it only for 5th, only for 7th. I'm not going to take up anything other than 7th. For other than FEMA on 7th. 7, I don't want you to be in a rush to cover 100 different things. Be fast, be quick next few days. Ensure that you cover as much as possible from those 40 or from those 4 chapters, which will fetch 40 marks. If time permits, read those twice in the next 2.5 days. Today, let's suppose if you're doing 2 chapters, General Clauses and interpretation. My ideal situation would have been LLP and interpretation. I would want to cover it today, so that on 7th, FEMA and revision of these 2 topics would be my plan. I hope I'm making sense. Everyone with me? On 7th, then my plan would be to revise whatever I'm reading today, apart from FEMA. Clear, everyone? Possible, 100% possible. Guys, this is the challenge. Let's bet ourselves on this. Next 2.5 days, trust me, it's going to be fun. You're going to get closer to your dream. Madness at times is required, and show that madness in the next 2.5 days. But not at the stake of your health. People not sleeping and all that nonsense. Please don't do that. You will end up having impact on your final examination. Close all your books. Quickly taking just another 3 or 4 minutes. I know your time is precious, more than mine right now. All right. So take adequate breaks tomorrow, day after. It is much required. Don't sit for hours together and not remember anything at all. You will burn out. You will burn out. All right. So what is my suggestion? Study 2 small chapters, take a small break of 10 minutes, walk out of that place. Walk out of that place. Again, study 1 big chapter, take a quick break of 10 minutes. With me, everyone? All right. Every day for the next 2 days when you're studying, tomorrow you have to cover 6 to 7 chapters. Day after tomorrow, you have to cover virtually everything except for FEMA. With me, everyone? Law paper requires presentation. Law paper requires peace of mind, and that sequence is required, or rather, law paper requires sequence in answers, and for sequence, you need peace of mind. Please do not mess up your sleep one night prior. Worst case scenario, I don't think anybody would fall here. Worst case scenario, if you think you're running short of time, listen to me very carefully. If you think you're running short of time, ensure at least these 4 chapters are at the tip of your tongue. With me, everyone? 2 chapters out of these 4, you're finishing it today. You're going to revise it once again on 7th. And 1 chapter of FEMA anyway part till 7th. 7th, you will have effectively only 5 hours. If you ask me, 7th, you will have effective 5 hours, out of which 3 hours would be towards FEMA, 2 hours would be towards revising. Nothing to be done on Companies Act on 7th. I am loud and clear. 1.5 days you're giving only towards Companies Act and 1 chapter of other law. You're not doing anything else. If you see 1.5 days, you're just reading Companies Act and only 1 chapter of other law. And which is that 1 chapter? I leave it to you. Because again on 7th, you're going to spend 3 days, 3 chapters, spend time on 3 chapters of other laws and 1 chapter review, if time permits. Go ahead. Don't try anything new now. All right. From which book should we study? Big question. All right. Whichever book you're comfortable with. Not the right time. Don't get scared. All right. Solve your RTP. Solve your RTP. Very, very important. I've seen attempts where questions are lifted from the RTP. So what do? You finish the topic, go to the RTP, finish that RTP question as well. All right. Let's suppose I'm finishing General Clauses Act. I finish General Clauses Act immediately. Go rush to the RTP and finish it. I want you to spend good number of time for interpretations of statute and General Clauses Act on reading past examination questions. All right. Where will I find it? It's there in your catch material. It's there in the revision material which I've circulated. All right. I'm not sure how many of you have gone through that. All right. In the fag end, I have mentioned important questions and important topics. Have you bothered looking at it? No. It's okay. All right. Now, at least if you've not done that, 2 or 3 attempts of RTPs you should go through on all the topics of General Clauses Act and interpretation of statute. Rest, if you don't go through, I'm okay with it. But these 2 chapters I want you to go through because questions are repetitive. Questions are repetitive. Am I clear, everyone? With this, I will wind up. All right. I know each one of you sitting here will come out with flying colors. All right. It's just that you have to trust yourself and push your confidence a little higher than what you think this paper deserves. One paper you've learned from, I think, first PUC onwards, you've always been exposed to mercantile law. All right. This is nothing new. Each one of you have gone through the sessions religiously. You will be able to solve. You will be able to crack. All right. Worse, if you're not able to finish the entire syllabus, don't panic, relax. See what is the best that I can carve out in the limited time. With me, everyone, all right, there is a possibility that you might not be able to cover entire 100 marks, entire syllabus that we've spoken about. Find out what are those best topics which will give you more marks. Less time, more marks. This is the whole objective that we have to plan. Clear, everyone? All right, write a little. Next 2 days, I want you to write a little. So spend some time. Sir, in facts of the case, what actually we need to write, I'm not getting that, sir. All right. So the question is very simple. Sir, what do I write in facts of the case? Facts of the case, you're going to just write 2 sentences from the question itself. What do they want? Let's suppose they've given a lengthy question. And the question is whether subsidiary can invest or hold shares of holding company. You are going to just write X Private Limited intends to hold the shares of its holding company Y Private Limited. Full stop. Nothing. That's it. There might be full Ramayana. You have to just bring in 2 important pointers. Clear, everyone? All right. Now, worst case scenario, sir, I don't know how to write facts of the case. Provision of law, analysis, conclusion. I don't want this situation, but if you're not able to write itself, then I can't really help. In that case, skip writing, facts of the case, write provision, analysis, conclusion. But I don't think anybody would have that much problem, because facts of the case is just going to be one sentence on what the question requires you to do. All right. So ideally, it is usually putting the last sentence in an appropriate form. Last sentence of the question, which is the question itself, that has to be put in an appropriate form. That itself is going to be the facts of the case. With me, everyone? All right, guys. So cheer up, push yourself a little. 2.5 days. Don't sit as if life is lost after writing accounts paper. The way you guys, and trust me, accounts paper, if it was bad, you should be more than happy, because account paper you will clear, and the rest of the papers, at least it won't be bad. I'm telling you, those of you sitting with this whole notion. By the way, how's your accounts paper? Am I audible?
You're audible. sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
How was your accounts paper? The silence is scary at times, all right. But fair enough. Let's assume it was good. Good, that was good. It was bad. Trust me, you should be more than happy. Accounts people get good marks. Even if their papers weren't good, still they end up getting good marks, because you get stepwise marking there. All right. So those of you scared about how you've written, what you've written, don't be scared. Accounts you will clear. I'm telling you. I still remember I was writing my CA final, and goes unsaid, financial reporting was the first paper, CA. I had messed it up thoroughly. I'm giving my own example. I had messed it up thoroughly. I was not sure what will happen, but I knew somehow I will clear this paper. All right. God's grace, I cleared. Though the paper was completely messed up. So those of you who are already carrying this notion, chill. All right. You will clear the paper. And you should be more than happy. Agar ek galat chala gaya, all right. If something has gone wrong, you should be more than happy. Nothing wrong can happen in the subsequent papers, at least, because they are done. They are done. They cannot do anything beyond this. First paper always creates pressure. It's natural. It's normal. All right. So don't worry. Don't get carried away. Those of you who have any sort of frustration, scribble a page in the book, throw that page, vent out your frustration, and then sit for preparation. Eat well, drink water adequately, and stay hydrated. Don't get dehydrated, because the moment you get dehydrated, your thought process chokes. All right, you'll not get appropriate. You'll not be able to recall things. I'm telling you, scientifically, this is proven. If you're not drinking enough water, your mind chokes. It's creating a lot of heat, which your body might not be able to take it. So drink lemonade. Take care of your health. Next 2.5 days, come out. Let's see you guys soon in the pass out mode. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.